So monovision or micro monovision. I use this strategy a lot with my patients when they're trying to get more depth of focus and trying to see distance, intermediate and near all at the same time. If you watch some of my other videos, then there are strategies and lenses that we can use to try and achieve that, but nothing's perfect and you will not achieve perfect vision for distance, intermediate and near, and there are significant compromises. But monovision and micro monovision are something that I use a lot, and there is another video based on that. Just to recap it, we use one eye for distance, usually your dominant eye, and then your other eye for more close up. So working together you get distance and intermediate and some degree of near vision. I often tell my patients that it's quite weird and it will take time to adapt, and I thought I'd try it myself, not quite with cataract surgery or lens extraction. I'm about -1 in both eyes, so slightly short-sighted. It means my distance vision is easily good enough to drive, but spectacles do sharpen me up. My near vision is good enough to read, but specs do sharpen it up and make it a little bit easier. So my left eye is my dominant eye, and you can work out your dominance by putting your fingers up and looking through at something. And then you close one eye and then the other eye, and then if the image moves, it's your non-dominant eye. If the image stays stable, then it's your dominant eye. So I put a contact lens into my left eye to set me for distance, and I'm leaving my right eye at -1. This is a strategy I often do in patients to try and give them the distance, intermediate and near vision. And I really want to share my experience with it, just so I can let you know what I felt, and also it makes me feel a bit more empathetic with you guys and be able to explain it a little bit more. So the first day I wore the contact lens, it's a little bit weird. I kind of felt that one eye was fighting the other eye, and that my near vision I could see, but it took a bit of time to sort of come into focus, and it sort of slipped in and out of focus. My distance vision I could also see, but again it came out of focus, and my eyes felt like they were really fighting each other, so it was a little bit of a strange sensation. Towards the end of the day I started not noticing it, but then when I started looking for it I could see it. So what I tell people about trying to ignore it and forget about it is really important, because I found that. Day 2 was significantly easier, my brain was starting to adapt to it. It still fought itself in certain situations, but then I started thinking, well, is the contact lens still in there, because I wasn't getting those experiences. So I checked my eye one at a time, and indeed my left distance vision was better, and my nearer worse in that eye, and my near vision was still good in the other eye. But it took about a week for me to really get it, and for me to really not think about it at all. And then suddenly it seemed to click. I think one of the important things is defocus and not look for it, and not check one eye at a time, because I think that messes your head up a little bit. But I did find it very, very beneficial. I think it worked for me. I'm still using it now, so it clearly did work, and I quite like the distance vision in one eye and the nearer vision in the other eye, but it did take a bit of adaptation. So stick with it, and hopefully you'll get it. And I do that with my patients with the intraocular lenses. The difference is that if I struggle with a contact lens, I can just leave the contact lens out. But if I put a lens into your eye and you struggle, that's a bit of a problem for us. And it also means that we have to go in and change lenses out or things like that. So it's nothing to undertake lightly, but I wouldn't choose that for you unless I thought that you could cope with it. But there are never any guarantees with this form of surgery. So hopefully you do cope for it if we do elect for it. And it does work, but it does take a bit of time. So don't be impatient. Wait, and it should work out for you. Particularly, I think, if you're very long or very short-sighted, then that strategy does take a bit of time to adapt. And I've had a couple of people who have struggled for about 6 weeks, 8 weeks before they suddenly get it, and they really think that something's wrong, but then suddenly the brain works it out. So be patient, your brain will adapt to it, and hopefully it will give you the vision that you want.